Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Jay all day here. In today's episode, we're going to do an NFL mock draft for the NFC East. So the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders. I'm going to do a mock draft for each and every one of those teams. We all know division rivals are the most fun to talk about in the NFL. As an Eagles fan, I despise Cowboys fans. Not as much as I despise Giants fans. No, I'm totally just kidding. I hate Cowboys fans way more. So we're going to mock draft for all these teams, have some fun. Half of this division is picking way early, so we're going to have a lot of fun mock drafting the NFC East for the 2024 NFL Draft. Up first in our NFC East only mock draft, the Washington Commanders are on the clock at number 2. The Bears went with Caleb Williams. Pretty much everyone knows that's what's going to happen. So it's really between Drake May and Jaden Daniels, guys. Where do we go? The more I watch the tape, the more I see one of these two guys separating themselves. And that guy is Drake May. He's got a little bit better of an arm. He doesn't take as many sacks. They both can be a little inconsistent with throwing the ball. So that's a wash for me. But Drake May is just a little more sound of a quarterback right now than Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels didn't work the middle of the field a lot at LSU. A lot of vertical routes, a lot of fades, a lot of goes, a lot of corner routes, some deep posts. But Drake May, he has 2 solid years of amazing production at college. Jaden Daniels has 1. And you're picking the number 2 guy. Who has the lowest floor? I think that's Drake May. Who has the biggest upside? I think it's about even. So risk to reward, the Commanders go with Drake May at number 2. Now the New York Giants are on the clock at number 6. There's guys like Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brock Bowers, Cooper DeJean. Left on the board, J.J. McCarthy, Marvin Harrison, and Joe Alt went. Neighbors is the best player left on the board by a landslide, I think. In my opinion, I like Neighbors even more than I like Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, if you watch Harrison Jr.'s tape, there's a little juggle in him catching the ball. He's not as clean as a catcher of the football as Malik Neighbors, and I like Malik Neighbors after the catch more as well. So I'm taking Malik Neighbors at number 6 for the New York Giants. Picking next is the Bird Gang, baby! All right, the Eagles are on the clock in the first round. Cooper DeJean is available. Nate Wiggins, Jackson Powers Johnson. Amarius Mims is climbing up a lot of people's draft boards, the tackle from Georgia. But looking at this board, you probably got to go corner, right? So that's between Cooper DeJean and Nate Wiggins. Wiggins has a really slender build. That's what concerns me at the NFL level. But everything else is so elite, so I'm very torn on him. He's listed here at 185, dude. If he's 175 pounds, I'll be shocked. That's a bullshit thing. I've seen like 170 on his weight and other kind of things. I don't know where PFF got this info. Definitely concerns me. Cooper DeJean is more of your prototypical cornerback, man. 6'1", 207, great height, great weight. He's young too, 21. So he'll put on a little more, probably 10 more pounds of muscle. Maybe he'll grow a little bit more too and be 6'2" by the end of it. Great size for a cornerback, like I said. Stout against the run. I really like that. He doesn't play a lot of press coverage, which is concerning at the NFL level. A lot of these good receivers, you got to press them, man. And a lot of people think that he could play safety. So this kind of covers 2 needs. Somebody in my other mock mentioned that, well, he doesn't really have a true position. He could be a cornerback or a safety. Then I mentioned Julius Peppers, man. Peppers was kind of that hybrid guy coming out of college. And look at him now, man. He's a stud. He's a really good player in the NFL. If you're a good player, you're going to find a home. Whether that's corner or safety, if he can become a 10-year starter for the Birds, it doesn't make a difference. So Cooper DeJean is my guy. The number 8th ranked guy on PFF's big board. Falling to us at 22. Done. I looked at the Dallas Cowboys depth chart on ESPN, and it has Brock Hoffman penciled in to start at center. If we take a look at Brock Hoffman's PFF grades, horrible. 57 against the pass, 54 against the run. This dude sucks. He's trash. We can get a great center, the best center in college football, Jackson Powers Johnson. For the Cowboys, it's not some sexy pick, but this dude's going to do wonders for Dak Prescott and the offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon. It's round 2 of this NFC East only mock draft. We're doing 3 rounds. The Commanders are up, round 2, pick 4. And I really want to bring in a cornerback to help out this defense. Looking at the Commanders roster, I don't love their cornerback situation. Out of the guys left on the board, Mike Sanristil is my favorite player by far. 2 over 80 years for the Michigan Wolverines national championship team. Not super great against the run, really good at coverage, especially zone coverage, 82, super good. Analysts love him. Every NFL team would love to have a player like Sanristil. He brings a great skill set and mentality to be a starting slot cornerback with safety and special teams versatility to boot. He should be viewed as one of the top football players in this draft regardless of position. He can play safety. He can play slot. You can put him outside. Mike Sanristil is such a diverse player. I love him at pick 36 for the Commanders. Just a few picks later, the Commanders are on the clock again. Round 2, pick 8, and I need some protection for Drake May. I want to address the tackle needs for this team. Jordan Morgan, 2 years over 83 grades, 87 pass block grade, 77 run block grade, great in zone schemes. They say he needs to get a little bit stronger, but he's got a good frame, 6'6", 320. He can put on a little bit of muscle and be a very solid player at the tackle position. And if worse comes to worse, you put him in at guard and he'll be even more beneficial to this team. I love Jordan Morgan, the tackle from Arizona, to go to the Commanders at pick 8 in the second round. The Giants are up at pick 47, and on a team that needs help in a lot of places, do we pick the best player on the board? That's probably what we do here. They don't have a ton of picks in this draft, only 6 picks. Let's pick the best player on the board, and that's without a doubt Peyton Wilson. The dude's a freak of nature. He's got crazy size, great sideline-to-sideline movement, can rush the passer, can drop back in coverage. He tackles a little high for me, so I think that's why he's sliding in the draft a little bit, but he's probably the best linebacker in the country, ranked 26th overall at PFS Big Board. To get him at 47 is a steal. Peyton Wilson, the linebacker, going to the Giants. The Eagles are finally up in the second round. Unfortunately for the Birds, they don't have a third-round pick, but they got 2 picks in the second round, picks 50 and 53, so that's super dope for the Bird Gang. If we take a look at the players left on the board in this mock draft, there's definitely not a guy I'm running people over to go draft. I like the guys, I don't love them. If I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles team as a whole, I think we got to go with Javon Bullard, who's probably the best safety in this draft. The Eagles brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but this defense needs a lot of help. And Javon Bullard is very versatile. He can play in the slot. He can play either safety positions. So he's very valuable at this pick for the Eagles. Pick 53, I'm going with Javon Bullard. Not a ton of guys I'm like, I need to have this guy right now in the second round. The board fell not super great for the Birds in this particular mock draft. Hopefully on draft day it falls a little better for us, because if it doesn't, Howard might move up. Bullard, the number 53 pick for the Birds. Luckily for the Birds, Bo Nix went to Pittsburgh, and then Trice, I did like Trice, got picked by the Rams. So we're looking at pretty much the same board. And I know this might be a very controversial pick for Eagles fans, but I'm going with Ricky Pearsall. He probably is the best route runner in this draft class, and that's saying a lot. He's really, really talented guy. And he probably made the best catch, maybe in college football history, earlier in the year against Charlotte. He made this one-handed, unbelievable catch, 6'1", 192. He's got a lot of experience playing in college. I like Pearsall here, guys. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, they can coexist. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep paying them both, but in Kellen Moore's offense, you need 3 really good receivers. We're going to see a lot of 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers. So I love Ricky Pearsall going to the Eagles He can run his routes in the slot, or you can put Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown in the slot. You can mix all three of those guys up interchangeably. So the last pick in the first 3 rounds for the Eagles, the second pick in the second round for the Birds, Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver out of Florida, is going to the Eagles. A few picks later, the Dallas Cowboys are now on the board. Only a few picks later, the Cowboys are on the clock, and they need a running back. Really, really bad. They don't have a number 1 back, and Jonathan Brooks will be that the second the Cowboys draft him. 6.1 yards a carry last year. He's averaged over 6.5 yards per carry over his collegiate career, which is pretty unbelievable. 91 rushing grade, 140 elusiveness rating. The dude is an absolute monster. I'm going with Jonathan Brooks, the running back from Texas, to join the hometown team, the Dallas Cowboys. The Commanders are on the clock once again. They still have 3 more picks in the 3rd round. It's absolutely crazy. Looking at the guys who are left, a guy I fell in love with when I was scouting offensive linemen is the guard from Connecticut, Christian Haynes. Very, very talented player. 83 in 2022, 80 grade in 2023. Just as solid at pass blocking as he is at run blocking. 6'2", 313. Haynes showed in his tape and at the Senior Bowl that he has the starting potential, measurables, and traits at the guard position in the NFL. His best work came on the move, which would bode well for zone blocking schemes and as a puller for man and gap schemes. Christian Haynes is unbelievably athletic, and we need to protect Drake May. I want to bring as much offensive line depth to the Commanders as I can. That's what the GM needs to do there, and that's what I'm going to do. Christian Haynes going to the Commanders at pick 67. The New York Giants are on the clock. It's their final pick in this 3-round NFC East only mock draft. To me, they got to look at the cornerback position. The guys on their roster are absolute trash. They don't have one cornerback ranked in the top 100 by PFF. Kyrie Jackson is the highest rated guy left on the board from Oregon, but only one real good year of tape. He was not very good in 2020 or 2021, but he didn't really see the field too much those 2 years. So, why isn't this guy getting on the field? That definitely concerns me. 77 coverage grade, 82.2 run defense grade. That's pretty good. Pretty good in zone 2, 74.9 grade. So, let's take a look and see what analysts are saying. Though he fares well in press, he can get pushed off balance against strong receivers. He's physical, he's got nice length, impressive mirror ability. There's a lot to like about Kyrie Jackson. But he's a little unproven, only one good year of tape. The other guys just don't seem to be on his level. Adrian Phillips from Kentucky. There's a lot more red flags on these guys. So Kyrie Jackson's a great flyer in the 3rd round. He's pretty good already, it seems, but it seems like he has a really high ceiling too. And that's the kind of guy you want to pick in the 3rd and 4th round. Maybe not a finished product guy who can still, over the next couple of years, learn at the NFL level and step his game up even more. With the 70th pick of the 3rd round, the New York Giants are selecting Kyrie Jackson, the cornerback from Oregon. I know the Commanders brought in Austin Eckler, but he's not the guy, man. He's not the guy. So I'm looking at the board now. There's one solid linebacker left on the board, but the Commanders are pretty good at the linebacker position. Running back looks really interesting to me. Gabriel Murphy is a good player too on the edge. Oh man, this guy might be a steal. He's got a high NFL IQ, but I just think Jalen Wright is such a steal here. For Tennessee, this dude averaged 7 yards a carry? What? Not a lot of usage though. Only 136 attempts in college. That's not a lot of carries, man. He's getting 10 carries a game, but that kind of production doesn't even make any sense. Wright is an NFL caliber athlete for the running back position. His youth is both a positive and negative. He's only 21, but he has succeeded in both gap and zone blocking concepts and has top tier pass protection ability for a 3-down potential back in the NFL. 5'11", 210, a guy who's averaging 7 yards a carry. I mean, I want to see what this is about. I'm taking a flyer on this guy in the third round. Bring another big offensive tool guy to the Washington Commanders at pick 78. Dude, I'm doing it. Jalen Wright, running back, who averaged 7 yards a carry, is going to the Commanders. The Cowboys are up in the third round, pick number 24. And to me, this guy is screaming, go to the Dallas Cowboys, even though he doesn't want to go to the Cowboys because his dad used to play for the Eagles for all those years, Jeremiah Trotter. But his son, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., looks like, to me, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm drafting this dude. 82 in coverage, 78 pass rush grade, 80 against the run. He is as sure as a tackler as it gets at the NFL level. 6 foot, 230, 88 on the big board. I'm going with him, man. The Cowboys need some linebacker help. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is going to the Cowboys, much to the chagrin to me and every Eagles fan on planet Earth. The position I'm circling for this number 100 pick in the third round for the Commanders is the tight end position. Cade Stover's been a guy I've been really looking into as of late, and a lot of people think he can be a number 1 type of tight end in the NFL. No drops last year. 0 drops. 51 targets, 41 receptions, 576 yards, 5 tutties. They think he's a number 1 type tight end in the NFL. PFF does. Stover is a well-rounded, well-versed football player whose natural athletic ability and fundamentally sound approach to the position should make him a high-floor role player with TE1 potential. 6'4", 251, great height, great size. 23 going on 24 years of age. The Washington Commanders need a tight end. Their number 1 tight end now is Zach Ertz. He's getting really, really long in the tooth, the former Philadelphia Eagle. I love you, Ertz, but you're getting old, bro. Bring in Cade Stover to work with Zach Ertz, learn from Zach Ertz, and take over as the tight end number 1 next year. Let's go. Cade Stover with the number 100 pick for the Washington Commanders. Real quick, I'm going to go over our full results. Drake May went number 2 to the Commanders. Malik Nabers to the Giants at 6. Cooper DeJean, 22, to the Birds. Jackson Power Johnson, the center, to the Cowboys at 24. Then we go Mike Sanastrelli, the cornerback from Michigan, going to Washington. Washington picks again at 40. Jordan Morgan, the tackle from Arizona. Peyton Willis, the exceptional linebacker, goes to the Giants at 47. Javon Bullard, the safety from Georgia, goes to the Birds at 50. Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver, goes to the Birds at 53. Brooks, one of the best, if not the best running back in the entire draft, falls to the Cowboys at 56. In the third round, we have Christian Haynes, a beast of a guard from Connecticut, going to the Commanders. Pick 70, Kyrie Jackson, the corner, helps out a very, very thin cabinet at corner for the Giants. Jalen Wright, the halfback, who averaged over 7 yards a carry last year, at number 78 to the Commanders. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., sad face for Eagles fans, is going to the Cowboys at 87. And Cade Stover, the tight end from Ohio State, rounds out our 3-round mock draft for the NFC East at pick 100. I hope you guys like these kind of mock drafts. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit so we can have some more fun with these mock drafts. If you like these kind of division mock drafts, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.